Hello again! It's my birthday this time, so, oh, right. Take a spin. Sorry, past few videos I've kinda used a filter to sound more crazy in a way, but for this video it'll be different, of course, because today I'm going to explain a really old card game I once had when I was a little kid, and also kind of take it apart into its core pieces and remake it into something much better and more well thought out. So, let's get started, shall we? Also, sorry if some of the drawings in this look terrible. I kind of changed the idea for this episode like a good 50 times, and this was probably the best idea out of all of them. Anyways, the old card game kind of went like this. Both sides had a base. One was on the human faction and one on the monsters faction. The base was a structure that would slowly produce BP, or aka battle points, that could be used to create units. If the base was destroyed, then the person with their base left would win. For the units, however, each was unique to the faction, kind of similar to Plants vs. Zombies Heroes in a way. However, unlike PvZ Heroes, there could only be one type of card out at a time. This was partly because I only had like one copy, because I drew them myself basically. This is a game I tried making years ago, of course. It was pretty simple. Some could heal, some were bulky, and some did lots of damage. But there was also another type of unit on each side known as a hero unit. These units were more powerful and only one on each side could be out the whole game. Using BP, they could use abilities that could be offensive or defensive or heal stuff around them, or themselves. The goal would be for you to get your units to the other side through different paths so they could attack the enemy's base. And when the game ends, you'd get EP, or aka evolution points, that you could use before your next game. These points would be used to evolve your units into newer stages, down paths that could do more damage, have new effects, greater health, or less costs, which was probably the most unique part of this version of the game. Now we're on to the fun part. How would I change all this? I mean, after all, this is a card game I wanted to make years ago, so I'd start by removing evolution points and battle points, along with potion points and upgrade points, which is something I didn't get into for time's sake. There's just so many points here and points there, that it could get a little confusing with what does what. Factions are another thing I remove. It's fun, but also it would be so hard to balance, alongside people possibly having favorites, or wanting certain cards that are behind a lock on the other side. With that said, I'd also probably remove all the old characters. It contained lots of old monsters I had that I no longer enjoy having be the main focus of the game. Instead, with this remake, I want the cards to be of my more recent characters, alongside friends characters, references, and, stuff like that. Now, how would you get new cards? I'm thinking at the end of a round, you'd get a set amount of coins depending on factors like getting multiple kills, if you won, and stuff like that. You'd then be able to visit a shopkeeper where you can purchase new cards. Forgot to write this in the script, but I kinda later decided it'd be cool if you set the difficulty of your next challenge, so you could take on a more challenging opponent for a reward of more coins. I think for a fun amount of replayability, instead of getting stronger cards till you have the strongest, and that being the end of it, you'd instead have to survive 3 strikes and you're out as the enemy starts getting stronger with you. I definitely would want to rework the movement system so it's a lot better to work with. Instead of having speed equaling the amount of spaces you move closer to your opponent, it could be similar to Pokemon where it's in order of who attacks first. The base could just be set to a single level instead of being upgraded as the match goes on, and maybe you could purchase upgrades to your base from the shopkeeper. Alright, I think that's all of it. Yeah, so sorry this episode is just me talking for about 4 minutes. I just wanted to talk about this cool game idea I had because I'm kind of wanting to work on it in the future. Because I actually know how to make a bit of games, kind of, in a way. I had coding classes, so, yeah. Anyways, I think this is goodbye. See you next time.